Hey, wise. Listen, Coach T here with you on today, and I want to come on. I wanted to come on and respond to um a message that I received, and also a client that I recently worked with, which has led me to this place, right? Um, and so one of the things that had stood out in this question, basically, a lot of times, when wives are going through a marital separation, and you, as a coach who as looked at, like, well, it's easy for you to tell us these things because you got your husband there with you, or it's easy for you to respond in this way because your husband's with you, but I'm a wife who, my husband is not, here with me. My husband is not with me. And I'm trying to trust and believe God for something that I'm not seeing the fruit of. And I want to just say this. And then I'm going to share with you what I have coming up for Wise on next Saturday. I don't talk about the marriage covenant based only on the experience I had in my marriage, right? I don't talk about the marriage covenant and believe in what God says about the marriage covenant only based off of my marriage separation, my marriage, injuries, my marriage, my season of marriage, marriage challenges. I don't talk about the marriage covenant only from a perspective of those things, right? I believe what God says about the marriage covenant, right? And so a lot of times what has happened in the past is people would send me videos, people would, ask questions, people would, share different things about marriage, and they would want my opinion about it. And I will always pause before responding to something like that, because it's like, I can give you a surface-based response, but I cannot really fully respond on something without having the context of this whole message, or knowing exactly who the person who, this video, the person made the video, who this video was for. Like, who was this person's audience, right? Because there are so many people that have something to say about the marriage covenant, how it works for them, their beliefs, what they believe. Oh, I don't believe a person should suffer this way, or I don't believe a person should have to go through all this, or I don't believe that, a marriage should have to, deal with these. Everybody has their own opinion when it comes down to the marriage covenant, right? They have their own opinion about, what works for them, what they may do, what they may not do. I don't base my teaching only off of what I went through in my marriage, the hardship that I went through in my marriage. I base my teaching off of the Word of God, the truth of God, and then the revelations of God, the revelations that God has given me specifically about the marriage covenant, right? I would say, whether I was with my husband or not with my husband, my belief about the marriage covenant does not change. If God restored my marriage or not, what he has imparted in me about marriage, that doesn't change, right? And so I always caution, this is why I'm so big on, when I talk to wives and tell them, be real careful about what you're listening to, what you're giving attention to, who you're allowing to speak to you about your marriage, what videos that you're watching and get information from, because there are so many different avenues. There's so many different perspectives. There's so many different opinions. A lot of people have, their own perspective of the marriage and the marriage covenant. A lot of what I share, a big part of what I share when it comes down to me teaching wives about marriage, and especially with the wives that I work with who have assignments to stay in an unhealthy marriage or to stay in a marriage that has not, that doesn't produce any fruit or have not produced any fruit. A lot of what I go by is the revelations that God has given to me based off of marriage. And then that revelation, I back it up with the word of God, with his truth, right? Like I always say, marriage, a person who may be in an unhealthy marriage, God may not necessarily give every person the same type of assignment, right? God may tell this person one thing and he may tell that person something else. God may tell this person to stand and God may tell this person, it's time to pack up. It's time to leave. God may allow this to happen one way and then, not allow this to happen, another way. It's all about what does God say to you about your marriage. And that's why I'm so big on helping wives to understand, what did God say specifically to you concerning your marriage? Because this person can say something, that person can say something, that person over there can say something, this person can have a perspective, this person can have an opinion, but what did God say to you? So one of the things I'm big on when I'm coaching wives is I try to help them hear from God themselves concerning their marriage. I try to help them to have a clear understanding about what God is saying to them about their marriage, giving them clarity on about what God is saying, right? That's how I help wives to understand what God is saying to them concerning their marriages. It's not based only off of, I can give you my experience, I can give you my story, my challenges, I can give you what I went through, I can give you some, I can do all those things. But it's not those things that are governing how I coach, right? A lot of what I share about, a lot of my videos, when I make videos, a lot of times people tell me, I watched this video, this and that. I don't even remember the video, right? I don't remember the video because a lot of times God has given me a specific word to share that video. I have to sometimes go back and watch that video. Like, okay, yeah, I remember God say this and that, and that. You know what I'm saying? It's like God speaks to Coach T in a way where he gives me a revelation, he gives me a word, I share it with the people. Whoever it's supposed to catch, whoever it's supposed to reach, whoever's supposed to gravitate to it, I pray that they gravitate to it. I pray that they reach it. But I am not coaching wise strictly on my experience or strictly on my marriage. If my husband picks up and leaves today, based off of what God has imparted in me, based off of the revelation God has shared with me, that has not changed. So when I come on here and I talk about things and why I'm so passionate about it, I'm passionate about it because God specifically himself gave me that word, right? God specifically himself. That's why I'm big on, you don't get to tell me about something that me and God talked about and you was not there in the room. You don't get to come and tell me about, well, God don't do these kind of things, or God don't talk like that, or God won't tell a person. You don't get to come and tell me something like that because you was not there, right? You was not there. When God told me that my husband was coming back home, I think I shared plenty of times before, my mind was set. I was sealed. It was a sealed deal. Like, that's all I needed to know. People around me thought I was crazy. People around me like, are you sure? Like, are you sure? Are you? No. I went based off of what God had imparted in me. God told my husband to come back home. That's what I believe. It didn't matter what nobody else said. And so I said that to say, please, wives, please, when going through a marriage separation, something as big as a marriage separation in your marriage, let me say this, because the person also, like I said, I also had a client that I was speaking to about this. Do not expect that coach to make a decision for you concerning your marriage. That's first of all, it's not fair. And second of all, that is not their place. Okay. That coach cannot decide for you whether or not you should stay or leave your husband. That is a choice that you have to make on your own. That is not the choice of a coach, right? Don't put a person in that kind of position where they feel like, oh, well, I am going to, go to my coach, or I'm going to go to my therapist, I'm going to go to my counselor, maybe therapists do that, maybe counselors do that, maybe pastors do that. Coach T does not. I don't tell a wife to stay or go. I tell a wife to seek the counsel from the Lord. What did God say to you? Because what God say to you is only the thing that you should be governed by. It doesn't matter what all these other sayers say. You can only be governed by what God has specifically said to you. So to come to a coach and expect a coach to give you an answer or to help you make a decision, no, ma'am, I don't do that. Okay, I just don't do that. All right, your marriage covenant and whatever you and God has spoken about and whatever God has said to you is something that you will have to go on your own quest on. That's something that you will have to go on your own, your own journey. That's something that you will have to know for yourself. When you come to a person like a wife coach who has experience in the area of marriage separation, that wife coach is there as, if you want me to consult with you, I consult with you. I can give you perspective. I can give you strategies. I can help you to, see clearly. I normally do like a marriage analysis, try to give you, understanding where you are on your journey, trying to see exactly like locate what you got going on, and then help you to make a decision for yourself. But I don't make that decision for you, right? I don't make that decision for you. And so I just want to share that part. And then which led me to, offering a free, wife, masterclass. I'm offering a free wife masterclass. Now, any wife can sign up for this masterclass. It's specifically for wives who are married to husbands who are unbelievers in Christ, or husbands who have not fully submitted their life over to Christ. All right. This is what this masterclass is for. The purpose of this masterclass is to give wives who are encountering challenging seasons in a marriage an understanding of the role that she plays. Like I said, we would do a marriage analysis to give her some strategies to navigate through, her difficult seasons, and to give her some next steps, right? To give her some next steps. I am hosting a free masterclass for wives on next week. Next Saturday, February the 24th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can sign up for that class. If you are a wife who you are saying, you know what, I have some questions. I need some answers. I'm trying to gain some clarity. I'm going to sit with wives on a Zoom call for 2 hours and walk them through some basic things about the marriage covenant, just really helping them to understand the marriage covenant, helping them to understand where they are in their marriage, helping them to understand the spiritual part of their marriage and maybe what they got going on, to bring, help them to, just get some fundamentals about what it means to be his wife, the character of a wife, talk about a little bit of the soul and the spirit of a wife. We're going to talk about her husband. We were talking about her husband and the purpose of this wife from a kingdom perspective. Okay. Sign up for this free masterclass. Sign up for this free wife masterclass. Listen, if you already connected with me on my email, I'll be sending out an email later this evening. All you have to do is respond to the email and say, hey, Coach T, I want to be part of this free masterclass for wives. Sign me up. I got you. All I need is your email. I'll be sending out a Zoom link to you the day of the actual class. It's real simple. It's real easy. We're not going to make this real complicated. I'm going to come on. I'm going to talk to you, teach you. You will have an opportunity to ask questions. It's a real live master class. I won't be on a computer. You won't be just getting me just like talking through a computer screen. No, I will actually be there where you will actually be able to ask questions. And I'm doing this because I want to help wives understand the marriage covenant. And I feel like once you understand the marriage covenant a little bit better, that will help you to better understand your role and your place on this journey as far as what God is saying to you, because God does not give us all the same assignment. So if you're interested, you can sign up. You can sign up today. Go to my website, www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. It's going to send you to a place where it's going to say the inquiry. All you have to do is say, hey, Coach T, I want to sign up for the pre-masterclass. Make sure I have your email address, a contact number, your full name, and then I will put you on a list for you to be a part of this free masterclass. Come get wisdom, come get knowledge, come get understanding. But do not expect a coach to make a decision for you whether or not you should stay or stand for an unhealthy marriage. That is not that coach's decision. You have to make that own decision. So I want to teach you some fundamentals, things that you can do. I want to teach you some basic stuff that you can begin to take. I want to teach you some simple, practical things, practical ways, give you some biblical principles on some things that you can begin to do and what you can look for and how you can go forward with seeking out God concerning your marriage and what steps that you need to take while you're going through this hardship in your marriage, right? Sign up today, www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. I'll talk to you soon. Blessings.